Up to the last 24 to 48 hours, and what does it tell us about people they're interested in? Plus, how close were they on Maxx? All sorts of draft stuff. The DLLS Cowboys podcast starts. Meow. Welcome in. It is the DLLS Cowboys podcast on a Tuesday, and it is good to be with all of you out there. Please smash the like button on your way in. We sure would appreciate it. It's a two-man party today as Jesse Holly is getting in some vacay. And so, Jesse, there's Jesse with a tweet, though. You'll get a Jesse tweet each day.
Jesse!
But welcome in. Three-man show. I count John. He cracks his mic every once in a while, and he's the engine that makes it run. But anyway, my name is Jeff. He's a black man. I am next to, I'm next to the greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, Mr. Clarence Hill.
We like mamas.
And I would like to point out that on today's show, the timing of the medication, I had a knee replaced just under 2 weeks ago, and the timing and the pain that led to the timing of medication today means that I am under the influence right now.
So that means you're high?
I'm high, and I can tell.
Because I got high. You know Afro Man that was famous all last week?
I saw the story of like somebody came after him, and so he just went after all them, and then they tried to sue him, and he won and got famous again.
So his initial song that made him famous was Because I Got High.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
I was going to watch the draft, but then I got high.
That's it.
We were going to pick Mansour Delane, but then we got high.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
We were going to trade for Maxx Crosby, but we got high.
Yeah.
We were going to keep Micah Parsons and sign him to a deal, but I got high.
And then Jerry lied. It's good to see everybody. I got to remember what the hell we're going to talk about. I forgot a shout out yesterday. So we have all sorts of Cowboys draft stuff on the show today. The favorite at number 12 overall, and should this person be the favorite, who the Cowboys were watching yesterday, who they had dinner with last night. We have all sorts of big Cowboy stuff, but I forgot a shout out yesterday. I want to shout out to my buddy Hoosh and Team USA.
Not Hoosh Manzada.
No.
Not Hoosh Manzada.
No, but I don't know how many people watched it, but there was two teams of good NFL players in a little mini flag football tournament against Team USA, the professional flag players. And Team USA dog-walked all the pros, as I told people they would, for half a decade now since the $1 Million Tournament on NFL Network, because I lived in that world, and it's a different sport. It's a totally different sport. And so I just want to shout out to my buddy Hoosh, who is still playing at the same level as we were playing 10, 15 years ago. The dude just keeps going. Shout out to Team USA and to the flag football community and all my boys on Team USA for showing the world what I told you. It's not a knock on the NFL players. You're playing a new sport.
It's a different sport.
It's a totally different
sport.
You're all 20 pounds too heavy to be good at this sport. It's a different sport.
And you know, I played, back in my 20s, I played a little flag football or touch football, whatever. It was physical. At least the way we played.
There are versions of it. Like back in the day, I played in Lancaster.
They touched you up.
Yeah, in Lancaster, they had the 9-man contact where you are putting hands on receivers and you're blocking and all that.
Yeah.
But no, not in this world. Shout out to my guys. And shout out to being high on the air. This is reckless. It's all reckless.
Recky Specky or reckless?
Now I got to remember what the first segment was. You want to start with what the Cowboys were up to yesterday?
Yeah, let's
or
do
do you
that.
want to start with Maxx stuff?
Well, let's start with Maxx.
Because there's Maxx stuff.
So we can get into what the Cowboys up to yesterday as we get into our next segment,
Okay.
right?
Okay, yeah. I told you I'm high.
That's okay.
I can't do this. So there was an article about Maxx Crosby and how close the Cowboys were and what they offered. And this is from Ryan McFadden on ESPN. Baltimore beat out the Cowboys, who were seeking an elite pass rusher also. Initial offers was Dallas's second first-round pick at number 20 and Osa, Then it flipped around, and they offered their first-round pick and a 3. No more Osa. Ultimately, the Cowboys moved to number 12 and their second-round pick, but the last 2 offers did not include Osa, who was traded to the 49ers for a third-round selection. So the Cowboys were all up in the mix, trying in a couple of different ways. And then Baltimore, when they backed out, this is where the Maxx Crosby stuff gets wonky to me. Mm-hmm. Because now what are the Raiders saying about a Crosby trade?
Oh, they're saying that they're not going to do it.
They don't want to trade him anymore.
And he's saying, I don't want to leave. If you look through that story, he said, I'm tired. I want to win the ring. I want to get out of Oakland.
Right.
The Raiders. I want to get away from the Raiders, which is part of the reason why he got mad at them, because they forced him to have surgery. He didn't even have off-season surgery. They put him on IR. He was ready to get out of there.
Right.
Now that this whole thing has gone wrong, and that happens. Let's be honest about this, guys. You got some grown folks in the draft.
Be honest.
Sometimes you are married, you have a fight with your wife, whatever else. I'm out of here. Then you get out in them streets.
Yeah.
Get out in them streets and understand it's pee in the dating pool.
You
okay?
come on back.
Then you come back home. It wasn't so bad. And so I think Crosby got into the experience of how the Raiders, the Ravens treated him bad. They treated him bad.
Allegedly. Had him fly commercial.
Yeah, they had him fly commercial. Didn't talk to him. The GM who traded for you didn't even come in and talk to him.
Yeah.
The coach, they just left him in a room waiting.
Yeah.
And he felt some kind of way. You kind of felt like you were put on the back. But,
seems like that team had already, knew they were backing out.
Yes, and they lied to him. And, when you're a prima donna and then you get treated like, when you're a 10 and get treated like a 2.
Yeah.
That's for them. That's not for me.
Yeah.
He got treated like a 2. And so now, maybe it's not so. So now everything he's saying is that I don't want to leave the Raiders. I want to stay. I'm going to make them pay. I'm going to show them who I was. Okay. I don't want to leave.
Yeah. Well, you're the Big J journalist. So let me just recce spec at you, and you tell me if you think I'm right or not. I think the odds that the Raiders suddenly don't want to trade Maxx Crosby are very low. They were ready to trade him. They had him traded. They want to trade him. I think the odds that Maxx Crosby suddenly had an epiphany and goes, man, I sure do love it in this city where we're going to lose a bunch of games again, are very low.
I think that's high.
Because
of how he got treated.
But what's that got to do with 30 other teams?
Nothing.
Maxx wants to go win. He don't want to be there.
There's no guarantee you're going to win anywhere.
But I can guarantee you're not going to win there.
There's guarantee that ain't nobody going to show you the love the Raiders showing you. What I'm saying is what you're saying about the Raiders' point of view is different than the Maxx point of view.
I think they're both in agreement that we still want to trade you, and the best way to do it and not have your value fall off a cliff is to say we don't want to. We're good. We're fine. We're going to keep him here. Everything's good. That's the best way to build value because I think they still want to trade him. My question is, whatever Baltimore saw when he wasn't going to pass a physical, he was 2 months off knee surgery, so it's not like he was going to run you a 40, right?
Right.
But whatever they saw on MRIs, X-ray, I guess it would be MRIs, not X-rays. Whatever they saw, did that get out to the rest of the league? Like, how is Maxx Crosby didn't get traded to Baltimore not immediately turn into, and now he's getting traded to the next best bidder?
Well,
like the league agrees with what Baltimore saw? Or did they just change their mind when they were like, I don't know.
It's like the Cowboys. I think there's some truth to it. Some teams moved on. They spent the money elsewhere.
Yeah. Did some other stuff.
They did some other stuff because they had to, react and decide what was best for them. And now you got to go back. I've already committed money, resources, whatever over here. Now I got to pivot again and pivot back to this. And how does that fit with what we plan to do? And so I think there's some of that for sure. But, yeah, I always say that, and certainly with the Cowboys, let's revisit the trade deadline. This is not over. Let's revisit the trade deadline. But some of the things that people are talking in Baltimore, coming out in Baltimore, is that, we're worried about, degenerative. He'll play this year, but what about 2 or 3 years down the line? And Baltimore, to me, is like the Cowboys. You ain't won squat, okay? Your biggest issue is winning in the playoffs. It's about winning now, okay? I'm not worried about 27 and 28.
I am if I'm going to pay that man through 27 or 28. If
I get to the Super Bowl this year.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
No. I'm saying to your point. Yeah. Then it doesn't matter what happens later. Yeah. We got this.
If I get to the Super Bowl this year, he don't have to play in 27 or 28, right?
Right.
We're going to be fine because we finally got our Super Bowl. And Lamar Jackson and Baltimore are in that same position that Dak and the Cowboys are.
Yeah.
It's time to win. It's time to win now. And as from a Cowboys standpoint, they sold us all of this. We're going to get a difference-making guy. We're going to fix the defense. They had three or four different offers, as you saw.
Right.
Certainly the last offer was the 12 and a second-round pick, but they opened with offering the 20 and Osa, and then the 12 and Osa, and the 12 and a third, and all this other stuff. So they were trying to get there. They didn't go far enough.
Can I ask the chat a question?
Yeah.
You mind if I ask the chat a question? Chat, would you want the Cowboys to circle back to their original offer?
Spin the block. Kyle, spin the block on the streets. They want to spin the block.
Would you like them to spin the block, and not to their best offer, but to their initial offer, where you're offering, well, you can't
20,
offer Osa,
20,
but like
20.
Even 12 and a third. Like eventually they came up to 12 and a second.
Right.
But would you circle back? My favorite corporate saying, hey, let's circle back.
Yeah.
Would you want the Cowboys to circle back on the 1 and the 3? Do you view the fact that they added Rashawn Gary after they missed on Maxx, right?
Right.
Do you view adding Rashawn Gary as enough to not be worried about Maxx? Are we worried enough about the potential future of his knee that we're just out and we added Gary? Because I think the Cowboys are still in the market for juice on the pass rush despite adding Gary. And I wonder what's happening with Max's value right now, because I don't buy for a second that the Raiders are like, oh, that's fine, and now we're happy again. We really want him. And I don't buy for a second that he went, well, I guess that one didn't work out. I'm happy again here. I don't buy it.
And that's just it. It's like, it's one thing to say we moved on. It's another thing to say, okay, I'm not going to give him my 12, but why not see, why not? Let's see. You know,
I'll offer you a little bit if you want to move. I'll give you 20.
I give you my 20 in a second, because we know right now you're not getting a 20.
I'll give you 20 and a third, but you give me back a fourth or a fifth, something like that.
Whatever.
I'll give you a little something.
I'm saying, why not revisit it? Why not spin the block? Spin the block. You say circle back. I'm going to say spin the block.
I like to circle back.
I'm going to spin the block. I like to spin the block sometimes. You know, that old stuff is pretty good. Sometimes you got to spin the block with that old
you don't need to go there.
I'm just saying it is.
Sports show.
Old friends, you need to spin the block.
Well, everybody
we
does
old friends, spin the block.
Don't we call that?
Hey, big head.
Don't we call that?
Jerry said, hey, big head.
Yes, he did.
Hey, big head. You know, let's see. Let's talk about this thing.
Don't you call that? Some people call it backsliding.
No.
You're going back, like you moved forward in life, but you had a little moment where you had a little backslide.
That's a religious thing. That's religion. We ain't talking religion.
I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about relationships. That's backsliding.
You backsliding. You don't backslide. Spinning the block is not backsliding. But I guess the other thing here is that Osa. They was hell-bent on getting rid of Osa. They was hell-bent on saying Osa didn't fit.
Once I got some information from you, and then some information from me, and then some information of overthecap.com, and realized he was tradable.
Yeah.
Well, we put that call in, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did it.
But they was hell-bent. So, you know, when Christian came in, and we fit players to our system. It's not about the system, about the players.
And then he traded a guy who didn't fit his system.
Right. You know.
So he was lying.
But
we got a scheme, and we need players that fit.
But what also is true is that they were overloaded at that one spot. It's one thing Jerry talked about. They had a lot of guys doing the same thing.
Yeah, but now let me ask the chat another one. If the Cowboys play tomorrow, who are the 3 down linemen? It's Quinnen and Kenny. And Osa wasn't a great fit, so you moved him.
The guy
Who's
from
the third guy?
The guy from the Chargers. Can't say his name.
I guess. But that's one of those, like a free agent signing that is 1 year, like $2.5, $3 million or whatever he got.
Yeah.
I don't even view that as a for sure on the roster.
Why?
But because it's like that's, I had to see the guarantees, but that's a nothing.
Well, it
like
nothing,
that's what Sam got. But that's not
okay. But see, and this where we got to get in the weeds, because that position is not a difference-making position.
Right.
You know, you don't have to pay a lot of money to play.
I just want you to wrestle.
It's like when Marinelli used to talk about you don't pay a nose.
Yeah.
You know, you don't play a cock nose, and that's his number.
That was Nick Hayden, the golden cock.
Yeah, you don't pay that, and which is why they got in trouble when they tried to had a first round pick on the guy and they didn't move him back because he didn't fit the board. Because you don't pay do you pay a 4-eye? And I think that's part of it. because you get a lot of people to do that.
You do if he's awesome. But if you think you can just get the job done.
But we don't know that Osa was awesome at that position.
Right.
They don't even think he fit that position.
Yeah. We do have a super chat. Austin said, trade up for Sonny Styles. Use 20 for Rodriguez. Well, I think you'd have to use 20 to trade up for Styles, maybe. But we're going to talk a lot about linebackers today, actually, and we're going to talk about where was the Cowboys brass yesterday and what is important about that. That's next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast. All right, friends, let's take a moment and talk about our friends at Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market. I've told you before, it's my favorite store in the DFW Metroplex, and I am not making that up. Do not go to the grocery store for your meats. Swing by Wild Fork Foods. Do it one time. Whatever it is that you're looking for, they've got it. If it's meat or seafood, they've got it. And their staff is absolutely incredible. I'll go up there and just pick out a few new things. Maybe I want to smoke something. Maybe I want to grill something. Whatever it is. And everybody in that store is an expert, and they're going to help you with how to prepare that. You want some seasonings and some rubs, some way to marinate this sucker? They got that there too. You want sides that go with your meat or seafood? Guess what? They got that at Wild Fork too. The pricing is wonderful. The staff is incredible. It's the best store. Go to Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market for your meats. Frozen is fresher at Wild Fork Foods Meat and Seafood Market. They're organic, grass-fed ground beef, 85% lean, $6 a pound. That's about the best I've seen out there. Try them out at one of their 9 area DFW locations. Learn more at wildforkfoods.com.
If you love the NFL Draft, then this is your edge. The Die Hard NFL Draft Guide is built and based off of thousands of hours of film study, being boots on the ground, Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl, Combine, talking to scouts, talking to coaches, really getting a feel for where these players are best going to fit and project in the NFL. We're talking hundreds of players in this class.
Cowboy fans, you got to have access to Fran Duffy's Die Hard Draft Guide because he knows exactly what the Cowboys are looking for and has in-depth scouting reports on everybody that can help this team. So help yourself and be informed about the NFL Draft. Make sure you got Fran's Draft Guide.
All right, so what are you going to find in the guide? Well, you're going to find player comps. You're going to find strengths, weaknesses, physical tools, analytics, highlights, analysis from all across the space, everything you need to try and determine who are the best players for your team. You get access to the guide if you're a diehard, and you'll also get access to a couple of individual breakdowns I'm doing specifically for your team. All right, look, if you want surface level breakdowns, you can get them anywhere, but if you want independent thought, if you want thorough breakdowns on all of these prospects, become a diehard, get the guide. Or you can get access to the 2026 guide for just $26. Let's win draft season.
It is the DLLS Cowboys podcast. Jesse Holly's on vacation, so you just get random tweets from him throughout the show. You initiate the dominance or dominance initiates you. That's much like the saying, which is not a saying, but I like when you're nope, I'm not going to go there. Never mind. I'm high, but I don't need to say it.
Don't say it. Say it with your chest.
Well, when I hear about dominance, when I hear the word dominance,
dominatrix,
all I think about is hippopotamuses, hippopotami. Because what they do to display dominance is they mount other hippos.
That's dominatrix.
Mounting is the ultimate display of dominance. And I don't mean that.
Why do you know so much about hippopotamus sexual fetishes?
Not sexual. It's not sexual. It's
mounting?
Just displaying dominance.
What is mounting?
Like in wrestling, you're on top. You're in the mount
two
position.
Males?
Just to let you know, I run this. It's just don't worry about it, dude. The Lunatics in the Super Chat. Linebacker via trade. Cornerback at 12. Trade down at 20. Dallas Cowboys for life. I think you're on it. And our third segment is going to be about linebackers and why I think they do need to find their linebacker not in the draft. They need to find a linebacker in free agency or a trade. And I sure would appreciate if you, Clarence would too, John would too, if you would smash the like button while you're in here. I'd like to get it over 170 before the show is over. And we're only at 68, trying to get to 170.
I see you, Cajun Mamas, a Diddy power play.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
That's what he's talking about.
That's not what I'm talking about.
He just left out the Vaseline.
Where was the Cowboys brass yesterday? And that answer can go a couple of different ways because a lot of the brass was in one place. Some of the brass was in another place. And we need to work our way through this and Recky Specky what it all means, Clarence. Where was most of the Cowboys brass yesterday?
Well, the good news, it's pro day season. It's pro day season. And I remember they used to take when the Cowboys on the hunt for something.
Yep.
They take everybody.
When you send everybody, you're looking at some stuff.
They take everybody. And I remember, going back into the day when they were on the quarterback and they would lead the owners' meeting and they were, going Jason Garrett, they fly Jerry Jet and go visit these guys. And so yesterday, Miami.
Oh, I bet. Were the Joneses there? Okay.
Joneses weren't there.
Because if they were, I bet they had a time.
At least they weren't on TV.
Okay. Miami's too much for me.
But you had Brian Schottenheimer.
Schotty.
CP.
Wait, Schotty was in 2 places yesterday?
Well, we haven't gotten to the second place yet.
Okay. Maybe he was in Miami during the day and then got back?
Yeah.
Okay. But we're in Miami.
CP.
Christian Parker's there, defensive coordinator. Will McClay's
de facto GM, the man that, the draft guru, the draft chief, the draft director, the scouting director.
The man with the greatest job in sports.
They were all in Miami. Who do you think they were looking at in Miami?
That's a great question. I think there's at least three names that qualify. Rueben Bain, obviously. His partner in crime, Russian quarterbacks, Akeem Messidor, for sure. And there's a third guy, because when Christian Parker talks about how important the slot corner, the nickel, and the versatility needed there and what they want out of that position, I think there's a guy at Miami that has a lot of that. His name is Keionte Scott.
Yeah, that's the guy. Everybody was tweeting about him yesterday.
They say he ran a 4.2 something. And here is Jeffrey draft rule number 731-B. When you hear a 40 time from a pro day, immediately add 0.06 to 0.08 onto it, and you'll have what they would have run at the combine. The science number, which has been studied for over a decade, is 0.08, but Indy is a really fast track lately, even more so maybe it's a little bit less. But if you tell me somebody ran a 4.25 at their pro day, they ran a 4.33. That's what they ran.
Right.
Mansour Delane ran, a 4.38?
Right.
He ran a 4.46, and that's good. That's very good. But don't let them fool you on the numbers. Doing this, add 0.08, you'll get their laser time. That's about what it works out to. So I think there's three guys at Miami that you could be looking at.
Right, and as pro days go, Mansour Delane also had a pro day yesterday, and you talking about him, and he's got has been mocked to the Cowboys and linked to the Cowboys. We certainly talked to Nick Harris. He hasn't gone to the Cowboys. And you said Mansour Delane is which I hate.
What?
You called him safe.
And none of them are
safe at 12.
None of them are totally safe.
But you called him safe.
Yeah, I just think he's a good player.
Because he's not special.
I think he's a good player.
And then I say, well, he only gave up 2 yards in 20 games. Was he locked down or was he safe? I just need to know.
He was locked down in college.
Okay, he was locked down. How you locked down and just safe? You locked down, ain't you special?
I guess he could be special. I think what makes you project special onto somebody is you look at that player and it's the traits that are going to make you special.
Okay.
And so like at corner, you would be like, look at that size, look at that speed, look at the ball production, and like he's slightly undersized.
Okay.
Average speed. If you take what I'm saying, 4.46, like
4.46 is average speed.
Maybe above average.
Average speed.
Probably above average.
Average speed.
Nowadays, if you run a 4.55, you're a slow corner. So like he may be above average. Maybe above average.
Okay,
a little above average.
We're not gonna do 4.4. We're not gonna do 4.4 like that.
So like his physical profile is you checked the boxes, but it's not and he's just a really good all around player. He's a good zone player. He's a good man player.
But he's not as good as McCoy.
I think if you told me if you could teleport Jermod McCoy's tape from 2024 to 2025 and he never tore an ACL, I would have him just above Mansour Delane. We'll see what he runs because he's definitely bigger.
What about Revel? Revel's bigger. A healthy Revel.
So I would be a Revel hater because even with his injury, I had him as like a middle of the second round player. I know a lot of people said he'd be a top 10 pick if he didn't get hurt. I didn't see him that way.
Okay.
So to me, Delane's a clearly better prospect. McCoy is a better prospect. Both of them are. But yeah, don't let any of my words jam you up too much.
No.
When I say
I'm just
safe.
trying to say
All I'm saying is I don't think you're going to miss, and I think that matters. Because when you're chasing traits, you have a better chance to miss. And with Delane, you're picking that player with that tape, and you're going, we're good there. I think there's a decent chance, maybe a good chance. He'd be your best corner as a rookie.
Yeah.
And that's all I need.
Okay.
I need a good corner. I need a good corner.
So, and I look at this and when I listen to you, that whether it's Delane, whether it's Revel, we ain't got no All-Pros on the come.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm just,
I don't think so. My new hope for Revel is that he can be a quality starting corner. If he's what you would call a plus player, that's a bonus to me.
Okay.
As long as he's able to be a quality starter, I think that would be good for Revel. And I mean, there's an achievable ceiling out there to what I'm saying about Delane.
Right.
Because traits.
Right. Okay.
That size, the way he runs, you look at it, you go, if I can put all of this together and make him the best he can be in that body, it could be special. Yeah. And you don't have to give up on that. But I think now you're going into year 2. My new expectation is let him be healthy and let him not hurt us out there. Let him be good. Let him be solid. And that'd be good with me.
Let's get to the good part of this segment, something that we teased about. You teased coming into the segment.
Come on.
Where is Schotty? Where is Schotty?
You just said he was in Miami.
He was in Miami early yesterday. But according to my boots on the ground in Austin, he was in Austin Monday night having dinner with one Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker out of Texas, linebacker out of Denton, who some people, you have him as the second best linebacker on your board.
He could be anywhere from second to fourth or fifth.
But right now you have him second.
I do.
So let's stick with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You got him second.
You
ranked him second.
I did.
Then you ranked him second.
I did. I'm just saying where the consensus
what you're saying is you, Jeff, ranked him second.
Yes. But on a scale of 1 to 100.
No. We put your board up last week.
We did.
We tweeted it out. You have him over C.J. Allen.
Got it right there.
You have him over Jacob Rodriguez, guys who are more hyped.
Yep.
You got him number 2 on your board.
Yep.
So that's what he is.
Yep.
The number 2 off-ball linebacker.
Unless you count Arvell Reese as a linebacker, then he's number 3.
You don't count him as a linebacker. You did your board.
I shifted him over there.
Okay. So the bottom line is this.
So we had dinner with Anthony Hill last night.
Yeah,
have you tweeted that? That's a scoop.
I did tweet that.
Oh, let me get up on here and retweet.
And we tweeted that, and he had dinner with Anthony Hill last night. Schotty was back in, obviously Jerry has a private jet, baby. And I would assume that they're all going to be in Ohio State tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because Ohio State's pro day is tomorrow. We talked about his pro day season. So the Cowboys were in Miami yesterday en masse, and Schotty and some defense coaches. I don't know if I haven't gotten a confirmation to see people there, but I'm assuming they were on the same flight. But I know that Schotty and some defense coaches met with Anthony Hill last night for dinner ahead of his pro day in Texas today.
That's good. I like a good scoop. Yeah, so that's a lot of guys that do all make sense for the Cowboys. Like I think Rueben Bain, if he gets to number 12 overall, that makes sense. I think Akeem Messidor could even be a worst case scenario. Like you get wiped out and at 12, like it's I guess we could do that. But he would be a guy at 20 that I think would be big consideration. And then Anthony Hill's the one that is a little bit wonky. Mm-hmm. I think for Anthony Hill to make sense.
How's he wonky when he's your second best linebacker?
What I'm telling you about the wonk is I don't think that's a pick in the top 20. Uh-huh. And so I think that's one where you're doing your due diligence.
Right.
In case you do some moving around.
Right. You can say the same thing about Jacob Rodriguez probably.
I think so. I don't think, for me, I don't want any of the non-Sonny Styles linebackers with a top 20 pick. And we'll have further evidence in the next segment that goes along the lines of why I feel that way and why I think they need to add that guy in free agency or trade. But that's good scoopage. Cowboys head coach having dinner with Anthony Hill Jr. We know that the brass was down at Miami at the pro day. And so, I love draft season.
And the fact that Schotty's back and, he could have, they could have just flown straight to Ohio State. Ohio State, so many prospects, I guarantee that they're going to be a good group in Ohio State. But the fact that they dipped over back to Texas before they go to Miami or go to Ohio State tells you that they think enough of him to take the time out to have dinner with him. Yeah. And not just a position coach, not just a scout, but the freaking head coach.
And Bain and Messidor, once again, did not test. They didn't do the athletic stuff, and that lines up with just the world of 2026. If you know where you're getting drafted and you feel confident about it, you just don't do it. The guys who do the testing and the guys who do all the testing are the guys who think they have something to gain by it. If you don't, you just don't do it. And I miss the world where everybody tested. I miss it, but
there's also something to the fact that if I'm a bad dude, I don't have a problem. I ain't worried about my stock going down.
No, just tell them put on tape.
Yeah, put on tape.
Put on tape.
Yeah, or I don't have a problem running these drills again for you.
Yeah.
I look good in my shorts. Come
with your little T-Rex on. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, why they have to find a linebacker in free agency or the trade market. It's next. Let us take a moment and talk about how important it is for you to be a diehard right now. You get a discount right now because of the free agency frenzy. Take advantage of that because now is the best time of year to be a diehard because of our buddy Fran Duffy, our All-City draft expert. His diehard draft guide is absolutely incredible. The level of detail that you get on all of these different NFL draft prospects, it is wonderful. Fran does great work, and you get to take advantage of it when you're signed up to be a diehard. So when you're watching the NFL draft, you can just have Fran's stuff pulled up right there. You want scouting reports, you want rankings, you want to be able to sort it by position groups. He's got you covered. He'll have his big board. He'll have his positional rankings. He'll have very in-depth scouting reports on all of these different players so that you know the guys that the Cowboys are getting. And this isn't just the first rounders. The guy they pick in the third round, he'll have a scouting report on that bad boy. You get into day 3, he'll have scouting reports and rankings available for you. So while you're watching the NFL draft, you can be an expert too because you just got Fran's stuff pulled up. Shout out to Fran Duffy. Now is a great time for you to be a diehard. This stuff is the product of a lot of work. He was at the Shrine Bowl. He was at the Senior Bowl. These are the college football all-star games. He's out there and he's talking to scouts. He's talking to executives. General managers, all these different people. In addition to watching the film, he knows the background on all of these players. Fran's going to get you all squared away so that you are a draft expert yourself after you spend some time reading. And it's a great time to take advantage of this because we're having a diehard sale that runs out soon. Normally it's $79.99, but right now $36 is our limited time intro offer. You still get your free t-shirt when you sign up from our merch store, and there's a lot of real cool ones. You're going to want one of them bad boys. You still get an ad-free experience on the website. You still get access to our Discord with your fellow DFW Sport diehards. You still get your diehard carrying card, discounts on merch and events, all of these things. Take advantage of it. Sign up to be a diehard today or else. Not a threat. Uh-oh. Welcome back to the DLLS Cowboys podcast. There's Jesse Holley is on vacation, so we're just featuring tweets. He's reading that book. I have that book as well. It's the Let Them Theory. You know, don't worry about things outside your control. People talk about you. People do what they do. Let them.
When I think about let them, it's T.I. got a new song out. Let them know. Let them know.
He's going to let them know and wants to know what you know about that.
Yeah, what you know about that.
What you know.
So I tell my daughter's like, you didn't do nothing. You was, you can't step. You can't just. I'd let them know.
You're going to teach me the Tootsie Roll?
No, you're going to have to do your own Tootsie Roll.
Cotton candy, something. Let me see that Tootsie Roll.
I'm not a Tootsie Roll guy.
William Cook is in the super chat. He said, what player is CP pounding the table to trade up for? Wasn't planning to talk about this in this segment, but I do have a name for you that I think makes a lot of sense. And then we're going to talk about linebackers. Please hit the like button while you're here. I don't like the number we're at. I sure would like to be at 164 by the time the show ends. So if you guys could help me with
Somebody
that.
got the 88 Club shirt. Jason, wear that
nice,
proud. Wear that
Jason.
proud, baby.
Let's go. I got a trade up name because, again, wonky draft. My guess is that David Bailey, the Texas Tech pass rusher, my guess is he goes somewhere in the top 3. That's my guess. But we started getting some mocks lately where Francis Maui-Noah, the Miami right tackle, goes in the top 3. And Arvell Reese goes in the top 3. And then David Bailey has to find a home. And I've seen him dropping as low as 8. I've seen him drop as low as 10. And I do think he is the perfect trade-up guy for the Cowboys. I wouldn't trade up for Rueben Bain. I'll accept it if he gets to 12, and I'll take him. But I recognize the risk with the T-Rex arms. I love his film. I love the player. I wouldn't pass on him. I wouldn't go get him. I guess I could go get Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles, but the non-premium position thing's a little wonky. David Bailey is premium position. The one thing you're missing is a twitched up, fire up out of their pass rusher. If David Bailey somehow made it down to 8 or 10, I'll go get him.
See, this is my problem. And I only get my draft knowledge from you. You're the best.
Come on.
You tell me this ain't a special draft.
Well, we got to say Fran Duffy's the best. That's the company line.
Okay, but on this show.
Fran and I are tied in my mind, but he has seen more players.
He likes Keionte Falk and you don't.
That's true. I like him okay.
Not like he likes him.
I like him okay.
You tell me, and we've talked that this is not a special draft.
Yeah.
It's got one or two special players, not a special draft.
Yeah.
We got a lot of needs.
Got a lot of needs.
Can we afford? And somebody asked me this year. I just don't know if they want to trade up at 12 and give up. What you got to give up?
Well, the secret would be you give up next year something.
Okay.
And depending on how far you get, like if you only got to go 2 spots, trouble is when you give up a next year's pick, like the way teams view it,
right,
is next year's picks, that's a round worse to me. So if you would have to give up a 3 now in this one, you got to give up a 2 next year.
Right.
So maybe it's next year 2 to go up 2 spots. Maybe it's this year's 3. And to your point, they need a lot of things. And that is risky. But it's also risky to just say our 3rd round pick gonna be a starter.
No, we don't know
that's
that.
Risky too.
We don't know that, but you have so many needs, and we don't know. David Bailey is the best pass rusher this draft.
Maybe. Arvell Reese might have something to say about that. Rueben Bain might have something to say about that.
Well, neither one of them are Micah Parsons.
No, none of them are Micah Parsons.
That's my point, though.
No, you're not.
So it's not like we're going up and getting or moving up and getting, a Micah Parsons or even the guy from Penn State last year,
Abdul Carter, who didn't have a huge rookie.
He didn't have a
but I still think I'll bet on that dude.
Right, but they're not Abdul Carter. They're not Micah Parsons.
No.
They're not those guys.
No.
And so why would we, even though that 3rd round pick, we don't know, but we don't know what we're getting.
No, I want to have that. I do want to have that pick. But I just think the level of player I'm going to pick at 12, I'm going to go, okay. And if you had David Bailey as your first pick, I would go, oh, hell yes. The one thing we're missing at a premium position and offensive tackles when they line up, go, uh-oh. That's the one thing you're missing. And if you had a shot at him, I would love it. Why I think the Cowboys have to find a linebacker in free agency or trade. We've talked about linebackers in the draft a lot. Give me your favorite one in the chat. Between, you can't say Sonny Styles. If he's there, we're good. That's done. But between the guys who aren't Sonny Styles, I'm talking about Anthony Hill Jr., I'm talking about Jacob Rodriguez, I'm talking about C.J. Allen. If you want to throw in another name, you can. I like Kyle Lewis. I like Josiah Trotter. Those are other random names you can look up if you want to. Jake Golday, like him a little bit. Other people like him more than I do. Amongst those names, who's your favorite? Because Field Yates did a mock draft yesterday morning, one of the two, today. So this is a today mock draft. And we'll give you the Cowboy picks and all that, and then I'm going to take you to a different part in the draft that's about the linebackers. So he's got the Cowboys taking Jermod McCoy, which is now 4 big-time draft dudes all giving the Cowboys the exact same player that Nick Harris is saying he would cross off the list for the Cowboys. So either these 4 draft guys know something about the Cowboys, or Nick knows something, or we're all having no idea until 5 days from now when we see if a guy who tore his ACL last year and didn't play this year looks the same. I don't think you can have an opinion until 5 days from now. Right. I don't think you can.
And I don't think we'll know anything until draft day.
Yeah, well, that's obviously fair. They won't take a guard, though.
Exactly. Perfect example.
Take a guard, though.
We won't know anything until draft day, and we won't, because we don't know how the draft's going to fall.
No,
there are people talking about the Alabama quarterback being the best quarterback in the draft now.
Well, come on.
Oh, I hear you.
Well, and I get it, because I don't think Mendoza's a special prospect. He's number one because he's the best quarterback in this class, but I don't know that.
What if the Jets think, well, we came from Alabama too, maybe we'll take him high. Did that knock the other guy down?
That would be great.
Right.
That would be great.
We don't know what's going to happen at 12.
Well, and I just say all that because I think Jermod McCoy is a guy that there is no opinion available. Next week, I'll give you an opinion on Jermod McCoy. If he goes to his pro day and he just does position drills, I think that's a negative for him. If he goes and does everything and he runs a 40 and he jumps and the numbers are all really good, that changes things. He might be the first corner taken. If he doesn't do any of those things, I wouldn't touch him.
Well, at some point you got to do something, and I think that we're finding out with our guy in a guy in Arizona.
Arizona.
The receiver in Arizona. What's his name? Son, who didn't do nothing. Marvin Harrison.
Oh, Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah.
When you don't test.
Well, I know why you're not testing. Rueben Bain's not testing because he would run a 4.7, 4.8. Like, he's not a fast guy.
When you don't test, you're trying to hide something.
Right.
Because athletic guys, fast guys like to run. They show you I can run.
Yeah.
I want to show you I can run.
Yeah.
You're not afraid of testing if you're athletic. You're not afraid of running if you're fast. The fact that Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't run, and then we're seeing that.
Because he was going to run a 4.57.
Well,
maybe he was going to run a 4.63.
The bottom line is you were supposed to be this great receiver.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing that maybe you're not.
And he started really slow. He came around a little bit, but he underperformed.
He is not what we expected. All the hype coming out of college.
I don't think he'll be special.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think.
And we thought he was going to be special. We thought it was better than Jackson Smith-Njigba. Okay. Yeah. The hype coming out of college, the hype in college.
Some of us got it right and had Malik Neighbors wide receiver 1 that year.
That's fine. You did it.
But now he's banged up.
What about the guy in Kansas City? Anyway.
Sky Moore?
Yes, Sky Moore.
We don't always have to do Sky Moore.
What about the guy
Sky Moore is my Cowboys will not take a guard at 12. We don't have to do that.
Well, no, we don't. Why you keep bringing up the guard?
You don't do good people like that.
You don't do good people like that. But I'm just saying that when you don't participate in these drills, you're saying something. You're hiding something.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You should be. Athletes, we call it underwear Olympics. They like to look good in their T-shirts and shorts. They like to show off their stuff.
CJ Allen didn't run for a reason. And it's because he was going to run a 4.7. And so you just let teams think that because the truth might be even worse. And so you're just like, let them think that worse, and that's fine. It's even worse if I go prove it.
Right.
Like, let them just doubt and then trust the tape as opposed to giving them confirmation. So Field Yates also had the Cowboys picking R. Mason Thomas at number 20, who's somebody we haven't talked about much. We'll circle back to it in the next segment because I want to get to my linebacker thing. So
somebody's bringing up a Quan Treadwell for you.
Hey, he's going into year 11 in the NFL, okay? And he's also one of the ones where there's things I can't know. I didn't know that the playbook was too much for Laquan Treadwell.
He's speaking spell?
And I probably should have known because he was a lineup on his coach's side of the field guy. Whichever way they were going, he'd line up by the coaches. But whatever, doesn't matter. You can name a lot of guys where you're going to say I missed. Just don't forget the ones that I hit.
I'm with the lunatic. I think the Cowboys are more likely trading down than trading up.
I think that's true.
If they had their druthers.
I think that's true, and I would like it. Foots and I did a mock draft the other day on my little tiny YouTube channel. We did a show on Sunday, and we traded down with both picks, and I think it worked out great. So in the Field Yates mock draft, in the second round, there were a bunch of linebackers taken, and I put them right over here. So he has C.J. Allen go 34. He has a linebacker from Cincinnati, Jake Golday, go 40. Anthony Hill, 41. Jacob Rodriguez, 57. Kyle Lewis, 59. Josiah Trotter, 62. So the three names that we've talked about, 34, 41, 57. The reason we're talking about him at 20 is because the Cowboys need a linebacker. That's why we're talking about him at 20. You asked this morning, like Seattle's starting linebackers. You don't have to have studs. You don't have to have
Ray
monsters.
Lewis. You don't have to have Ray Lewis.
But you can't have Kenneth Murray. And the reason that we're talking about at 20, guys who for a lot of people are going to be mocked in the second round, guys who Todd McShay, when you go to his player rankings, has, let me get the linebackers pulled up. Sorry, I thought I was going to be ready for it, and I'm not. When you go to Todd McShay's big board, those linebackers are ranked 41, 43, and 48. We're talking about him at 20 because of the need.
Right.
Not because that player should be picked 20th. And that's why I think you've got to find it somewhere else. You cannot use a first-round pick in the top 20 just because, we don't have a guy there, especially at a position that's easier to fill than most. Go fill it.
Yeah, and on the flip side, could what you get at 20 be as good as you're gonna get on free agents, or could what you get at what you get at free agency? Because
It could be as good as what you get at 20.
You know,
It definitely could. It could be better.
It could be better. But again, how important it's a huge issue for the Cowboys because they don't have a body.
Yeah.
They got Shamar Stewart.
But it's the running back
Not
of the
Shamar Stewart, Shamar James.
It's the running back of the defense.
Right. Well, it's the running back of the defense. It may be worse than the running back.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the running back is more important. I mean, because you already got Overshown.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like you're bereft.
I need that job done.
Right.
I don't need to use a top 20 pick just because I don't have someone there.
Right.
That's not a good plan.
Yeah, but we all got our hair on fire. They need a linebacker. Are we overhyping the need is what I'm asking. Are we overhyping the need for an off-the-ball linebacker? Because as I asked before, who is Seattle's off-the-ball linebackers that won the Super Bowl? We know the defensive tackles were special. We know the defensive end. We know about the safeties. You know about the cornerbacks. But how germane were those off-the-ball linebackers to their success?
They're just guys who did their job.
Right.
I knew their names this morning, and now I'm brain farting, and I can't even tell you their names.
Exactly.
But they're guys who did their jobs and didn't get them killed.
Yeah.
They didn't hurt them.
I know, and you gave me the names. I forgot. One of them is Ernest Jones.
Ernest Jones, and then the cover guy, the guy that's a pretty good cover guy.
Right, and Ernest Jones was so good, he won a Super Bowl with the Rams that they let him go.
Yeah.
And now he came back, and I got revenge on the Rams because they didn't keep me after I wanted to help them win the Super Bowl.
You can find linebackers. They just haven't, and they need to. You cannot go drafting without your pants on. You got to be covered. So go get covered at linebacker. Coming up next, we are going to circle back on some of the mock draft things we've got there and a couple of other Cowboy and NFL draft topics that I hadn't gotten to yet. Let's do it next. I want to help you folks out, give you some advice today. Sign up to be a diehard on ALLCITY.com. It's a good time for it. Our limited time intro offer is $36 for your first year. That is a year of access to everything you could ever want to know about all of your DFW sports teams. We do 5 shows a week for every sports team in DFW, the 4 of them anyhow. We got your shows, but we also have your premium written content on the website. And when you are a diehard, you have access to all of those things. And you get rid of the ads on the website, which is pretty convenient. That's a nice little perk. So yeah, take advantage of this discount and then surf around on our merch store and figure out what free t-shirt you want. $36, that's about the value of that t-shirt. And that's what you pay for your first year to be a diehard. Woo boy, what a deal. Get hooked up. Sign up to become a diehard. There's other perks as well. It's not just access to all of our content. You also will get access to our Discord server where you got all sorts of our DLLS staff is in there along with your fellow DFW sports diehards. And you want to be in there. We have a good time in there. It's cool. You get to know everybody. You can probably make some new friends. You want to make some new friends based around common interests? Get in there. It's not just channels for each of your sports teams. We also got stuff for wrestling, books, TV, all sorts of stuff. So get up in there, become a diehard, take advantage of it, get your free t-shirt. Then you also get discounts on other merch and events that we have here at DLLS. And you're going to want that. You want access to all those things. And it's NFL draft season. When you sign up and take advantage of the discount, you will have access to the 2026 Die Hard Draft Guide by our buddy Fran Duffy, our All-City draft expert, and that is in-depth stuff that'll get you all squared away. You won't just be fiddle-farting, guessing at what the Cowboys are doing. You'll have in-depth scouting reports on all the guys they pick, thanks to our buddy Fran. So take advantage. Get signed up to be a diehard today or else. Not a threat. All right, it's the DLS Cowboys podcast. Jesse Holley with a random tweet because he's not here. This one, you got to pay the cost to live that SMU life. What is that first tweet? These guys gave a dorm tour at SMU. Total cost of attendance. What is he saying? That's not a good closet, but because you got to pay to go to the school.
I don't think he's saying it's not good. He's talking about the cost of going to SMU.
Yeah, I think but he's saying that's why he got this nasty. That wardrobe is not. I can't talk about wardrobes.
Is that nasty? It's a college kid's a dorm room.
That's pretty half-ass.
That's not half-ass.
Pretty half-ass.
John, you're closer to that age than we are. That's not a half-ass.
But that's what Jesse's trying to say, right?
No, he just think it costs too much.
My dorms in college did not look like the SMU dorms.
That's
a whole
nice.
video. They give a tour of the whole thing.
Yeah, that's not a bad closet, sir.
Joseph is in the super chat. We are approaching the like number that I set out to get in the show, but we're not there. So if you could smash that like button, if you haven't, it would be good for the algorithm and it would help us keep our jobs. Even if you hate us, you don't want people to be unemployed. Joseph's in the super chat. Is the scenario where you trade 12 and 20 for a top 10 pick and that team's second round pick realistic? I think so, depending on Like, I think the one that Broadus has been beating the drum for is Cleveland, where you would end up at 6-39 instead of 12-20. And I think the math works out pretty good on that. So, yeah, that's a reasonable thing.
If I'm going to trade with Cleveland, I want their defense to be in. Can we somehow get him?
I want Deshaun Watson.
Can we get Myles Garrett?
I want Deshaun
Can we
Watson.
trade for Myles Garrett?
Can we get Shedeur?
Would you give 2 first-round picks for Myles freaking Garrett?
Yeah.
Bring him home?
Yeah, in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Can we, if we talking about spinning the block on Maxx Crosby, let's just throw this up the flagpole. Let's offer those 2 first-round picks for Myles Garrett.
Also, just a daily shot at Jerry. It's hilarious that you're offering to give up everything for pass rushers who are almost Micah.
Myles Garrett is full Micah.
No, yeah, Myles is even better. Myles is the best. Myles is amazing. But I mean, like Crosby, like you're offering almost Micah compensation for a guy who's almost Micah. Right. Or maybe some people think he is as good or better. I don't want to tell you how to feel. The Lunatics in the Super Chat, you good with Honey Badger traits? Terrell at 12. Avion Terrell, Clemson corner. Yeah, he's one of my strikeout guys at 12. Avion Terrell is one of the guys that, Clarence, you'll hate this. He's one of the guys that if you had to just bet, like, you ain't missing. This guy's going to play a decade in this league. Avion Terrell's right at the top of that list. And I think he would fit here really well. You want a cover guy who's physical, who has a tendency to find the football and give it to your team. You want Avion Terrell. He can play outside. He can play the slot. You're not going to line him up as safety, but he could do it in a heartbeat.
And he's Hunter Badger was undersized.
Yeah, Avion Terrell's 5'10 and a half.
I remember. Now, where did you have a Hunter Badger coming out of the draft? Were you doing draft?
I was definitely doing it. I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember.
No, because the Cowboys passed
maybe second round.
Cowboys passed on him twice because he didn't fit.
The Cowboys also thought Jalen Ramsey was a safety. People make mistakes.
They passed on him twice.
People make mistakes.
He didn't fit their scheme because he wasn't a classic corner.
Let's circle back on some mocks because we have 2 of them. Todd McShay had one that we haven't hit yet, and Field Yates, we didn't even really get around to both of the Cowboys picks. But at number 12, Field Yates had the Cowboys taking Jermod McCoy, just like everyone else who's done a mock draft lately. My theory on why Jermod McCoy is the, quote, favorite and the guy that everybody's putting there is because they're just doing process of elimination. They're just drafting the 11 in front of them. They're getting to 12, and Mansour Delane's gone, and Caleb Downs is gone, and Sonny Styles is gone, and they're looking at the Cowboys' needs, and they're saying the best player available, if he's healthy, plays corner. The Cowboys need a corner. Put Jermod McCoy in there. Right. I don't think it's not insider information.
Right.
I think that's just the way it falls when you knock Bain, Styles, Downs, and Delane off. Instead of going to the next edge guy, Jermod McCoy is going to be considered a better prospect, and so you just put Jermod McCoy in there. I don't think it's some sort of they know some stuff. But the guy he has at number 20, we haven't talked about much, R. Mason Thomas. Now, Clarence hates him. He plays at OU.
I don't hate him.
He plays at OU.
I don't hate OU players.
R. Mason Thomas is super fun because he is a combination of the things you want. Like, he's undersized. He plays strong. I don't think that his size, no matter how strong you play, it doesn't mean that you're able to dominate offensive tackles and like win that wrestling match. But I think he would be less of a liability than you think for a guy at that size. And he's got a nice little pass rush bag. His athletic testing was surprising. He ran slower than I thought. He had a slower 10-yard split than I thought watching him on tape. But just off of the tape, you could take him at 20, and you could get a little pass rush juice out of that. And I don't think I would hate it. It might be a little early, but you don't pick again for 70 more picks. So I don't think that that's terrible.
Do you know who the last defensive end the Cowboys drafted from Oklahoma?
Charles Tapper.
And what is the interesting thing about Charles Tapper? Great question.
He was drafted with the pick right before Dak.
Yeah. If you ever want to do a parlor game.
Yeah, you trying to draft trivia me? Come on with it.
We're going to do a trivia game. Want to do a trivia game.
Dak was the comp 4. Tapper was the regular 4.
So understand this. The Cowboys valued Dak Prescott so much in the 4th round because they knew what they were getting. And they knew what they were going to get their next quarterback. And this is a draft when they wanted quarterbacks. They did all their research and all these quarterbacks. They loved Dak so much that they valued Charles Tapper over Dak Prescott.
And Connor Cook.
I'm just talking about Charles Tapper.
I know.
But you're talking about the other quarterbacks.
And they valued Paxton Lynch way more.
Yeah. but they valued Charles Tapper in the 4th round.
Yeah.
They missed on Paxton Lynch and Connor Cook. Here's the 4th round, and we need somebody. We need to get Charles Tapper. We're going to take a chance on missing on Dak Prescott because we got to have Charles Tapper.
Yeah.
Charles Tapper did not play 1 year with the Cowboys.
Wasn't he at least on the roster? He's on the roster, right? He didn't do much,
He
but he
was on
played.
the practice squad. No, he
never. I
he
think you're
never
wrong.
played.
I think you're wrong. I'm looking this
I
up.
like Charles.
I'm looking this up. I don't believe.
I looked.
you.
I think he took in his niece and nephew, and he was like the
2017. He got in 2 games and he made 3 tackles. Let's go.
You know why? Because he was on the practice squad all year, and they called him up for a game, put him back on the practice squad.
Yeah, but he played technically.
Okay. And
God, I can't believe they got
what did he do
nothing.
after that? What did he do after that?
I don't see another stat.
Exactly.
That was it.
But this is the guys they valued over Dak Prescott in the 4th round in 2016.
Okay.
They thought so much with Charles Tapper that they had to get him. They took a chance on somebody else drafting Dak Prescott because they had to have Charles Tapper.
People make mistakes, and we forgive them and we give them a second chance. Todd McShay did a mock as well. This one came out technically yesterday, but we had stuff going on. And at number 12, guess who? Jermod McCoy. Just be
They
locked
must
in.
know something. They got intel.
Be locked in on.
Intel.
Am I wrong? It's the 29th, right? Not the 31st? It's the 29th or 31st. Let me check.
What?
Tennessee Pro Day. Tennessee
I couldn't.
Football Pro Day 2026. Oh, it is March 31st. So in 7 days, next Tuesday is when we'll know if the Cowboys are going to be willing to pick Jermod McCoy. That's when we're going to find out. And at number 20, TJ Parker, the Clemson edge. He would play outside linebacker here, and he would offer you a little bit more of a power rusher than some of the, like R. Mason Thomas is more of a speed and quickness guy, although he has some power. And TJ Parker is more of a power player that you'd be more comfortable, could set the edge, push the pocket, and if he could develop a little repertoire of pass rush moves, that would be nice. Let's knock out these super chats. I know I've missed at least one, and we're not going to get out of here without hitting them all. True Texan. Pickens needs to go for a player in picks. See, you're doing some hating.
I mean, why?
I do think that it won't happen, but Pickens should be a number 2 or get off the pot. Like, if you're the Cowboys, the worst thing you can do is let him play this out on a tag. I get it. To people who are saying, I'd rather pay him $27 million and then $31 million or whatever instead of $40 a year. But in a salary cap league, even if Pickens made $40 a year, he would count less than 27 this year and next year. Like, you're trying to build a winner today.
And that's just it. We're trying to win now.
Parking $27 million on your cap is not helping you win today.
If you want to win now, and understand this, you can sign, you can help your defense, you can pick everybody you got in your draft with your draft picks, and still sign Pickens.
Yeah.
Okay?
You can do all that.
You can do all that. You're trying to win. We're trying to win in 2026. We're not trying to win in 2028. It's been since 1996. We're trying to win now. The urgency is now.
We're tired.
Pickens
We're tired.
on this team. Commit to Pickens.
We're tired.
Now. Pay Pickens now. Go sign those defense guys. You're trying to win now.
Jason Broyles Music, we got 2 super chats, and they're both going to take some words here. Jason got his shirt today, and he said, I'm used to the 4-3 defense with a Sam, Mike, and Will linebacker. In this new scheme, what are we looking for in linebackers? What's CP looking for in an inside linebacker versus an outside linebacker in the 3-4? Outside linebackers are going to be guys that can set your edge in the run game, hold that contain, so they have the strength, usually the length, to be able to do that. But they're also going to rush the quarterback, and they're going to do that a decent amount. So it's the sort of guy that can kind of rush, can drop some, can hold the edge. The inside linebacker is basically chase running backs and drop into zone coverage, maybe cover a tight end every once in a while. And MD Rowe says, Ebony and Ivory edition, DLLS, explained to me again, Overshown as an inside linebacker in this scheme. You're trying to set up Overshown to get his shine on in the things that he does best. And the things that he does best, run fast and smash. So when you got 5 other guys in theory up on the line of scrimmage, it makes it tougher for an offensive lineman to be in Overshown's way. He can just see what's happening, run real fast, tackle for loss. You can still blitz from the inside linebacker. You're setting him up to be like in a 4-3, the will linebacker, the weak side linebacker. You want him to be able to run, chase, and make plays. Susan just dropped $1 in the super chat.
Thank you, Susan. I need that $1.
We appreciate
Need
that.
one more. Last $2.
If that's what you want, Jason
Not
said
gonna
thank you.
lose.
You're welcome. We appreciate they don't act like they're trying to win now. They don't. Their actions don't act like they're trying their hardest.
And that's what's
they're not
frustrating.
trying their hardest to win now.
Yes, they keep measuring. I'm not worried about the cap. I'm tired of balancing the budget. Bust the budget.
Bust the budget.
Trying to win.
Thanks for stopping by, everybody. We appreciate you. We got the likes where I needed them, but go ahead and smash the like button on your way out. Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through. Be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.
Jesse!
We all silly like the mayor.